No, I think Anthony Duarmond, the psychiatrist I had for so many years, the NHS psychiatrist I had for so many years on my case, he was he was trained up when the old scheme of things was in place, and mental patients were, a lot of them, locked up in asylums and were under the thumb. The authorities over them, the authorities running the asylums, it was presumed that they knew better than the patients what was good for the patients, or what was good all round, and the patients had to toe the line. Now, before these dopamine blocking drugs, I'm talking about schizophrenics really, before dopamine blocking drugs came in, which toned down the behaviour of the otherwise extravagant behaviour of schizophrenic patients. Before that, those came in, then patients had to be, or at least it was not. One could understand how the system evolved, whereby patients were constrained to toe the line and do what they were told, because otherwise they ran amok and created havoc in society. But with the advent of dopamine blocking drugs, which, as I say, toned down the behaviour, the extravagant behaviour of patients, it came to be understood that there was no need, and it was improper to enforce regimes on patients, regimes of behaviour on patients. And of course, as part of that, the old asylums were closed down and demolished, and patients were, to the largest degree possible, allowed to be free in the community, doing what they want to do. And this is, anyway, this is I haven't sort of clarified my thoughts too well. Writing them down might clarify them better, but under these circumstances, I have to blame the medication I'm on again. I'm a bit lazy and find it easier just to spout off like this on YouTube than write the essays I used to write. What was I saying? Oh, democracy. Well, democracy. I mean, to abbreviate, I will state my conviction that democracy has come about because of the population density. But anyway, democracy means allowing people to decide for themselves what's best for them. And of course, the fact that we live in a society in close juxtaposition with other people means that you can't have anarchy. People can't do exactly what they please, but by agreement with one's neighbours, sort of thing, one otherwise is left free to decide what is best for oneself. And this applies also to mental patients, or mental patients who are sufficiently medicated not to behave, uproariously, or to what's the word? Disruptively. And anyway, it is the case, if you don't make people do things, or don't make people get into situations which are laid down for them, if you allow them to do what they want to do, with the proviso, of course, that they mustn't hurt their neighbours and must rub along with the neighbours and so on. If you allow them, and specifically if you allow them to escape from anything they find too onerous or too hurtful, then surely things are better. Surely the world is a better place. People don't have to suffer things they don't want to suffer. I mean, like marriage, for example. There are many more breakups of marriages now than there used to be, and you know, it is arguable that's undesirable. But the point is, if people are in marriages or tied together in relationships, which are causing them too much hurt, then it isn't right to bind them in the relationship and make them continue to suffer the hurt. And you know, people might say, well, people get divorced for frivolous reasons, or get married in the first place more frivolously because they know they can escape from it easily. But I mean, you can't get away from the fact that it is desirable to leave people free to escape from situations they find unbearable. And anyway, this applies to mental patients. And what I'm really saying is that on this present dosage of the Risperdal that I'm on, I reverse my opinion. I wouldn't want to be in an asylum where everything is arranged for me and done for me, and I have no responsibility for myself, because I mean, the point is, on the higher dosage that I was on last year, it is now, in the summer of last year, it made me incompetent. It made me incompetent to perform things myself, to make arrangements myself, and because it interfered with my thinking, just as and more so the high dosages of the old medications in previous years did. But on this low dosage of Risperdal, I am able to think sufficiently to make arrangements and not be overwhelmed by anxiety, and therefore I'm pleased to be, or happy to be, free to well, to repeat the words, make my own arrangements. I don't say life is perfect, but I'm happy to be free.